and a 1 and a 2 and a 3.
Collectible love.
Ti Amo. Collectible What can't be is what was seems tragic fiction. The sun comes up, and this is your love, and this is your love. 'Cause I am yours today, or tomorrow, forever. 'Cause I am yours today, or tomorrow, forever. Impossible is a dozen perfections, yeah. No two found in another, no. This is your love, this is your love. 'Cause I am yours today, tomorrow, forever. 'Cause I am yours today, tomorrow, forever. You're all that I could want. A gift beyond measure, yeah. 10,000 miles away, yeah. Patience and torture, yeah. I am yours today, tomorrow, forever. 'Cause I am yours today, tomorrow, forever. No God could save me the way that you have. Nowhere to lift me the way that you have. No God could save me the way that you have. Nowhere to lift me the way that you have. 'Cause I am yours today, tomorrow, forever. 'Cause I am yours today, tomorrow, and forever. 'Cause I am yours today, tomorrow, forever. 'Cause I am yours today, tomorrow, forever. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The mornings come so fast. There's no end in sight. No, 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 no. The evenings are so peaceful, yeah. And it's good nights, and it's good nights. I am yours today, tomorrow, forever. 'Cause I am yours today, tomorrow, forever. 'Cause I am yours today, tomorrow, forever. 'Cause I am yours today, tomorrow, forever. Yeah. Today, tomorrow, and forever. Yeah. Ti Amo Collectible Love goes on sale tomorrow at frickin' noon. What? mBlu, thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to NFT Game Day on the Uplifters channel. We got so much to do today to talk about all the Ti Amo stuff, and that was actually the video you guys just watched is going to be the 101 that is going out to the person who bids the most on all the drops that go on during the event, which I'm super excited about. I'm really grateful I got to be part of that. We'll get the gratitudes pretty soon. Yeah, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Nice to be here.
It's great to have you here, mBlu. So that's going to be exciting to see how this event pans out, and we're super excited to hear about what's old and what's new.
Yeah. So that's one of one. So there's two one of ones that are going to the highest payer of the event. So it's that which is the NFT land key to that monument within the Uplift, which is incredible. That I love that song, Corey. You're just my favorite singer of all time. You got golden lungs, man, and that video is just it's very well done. I love it. So thank you for that. And the other one of one is the I think it's about 2.5 minute long love poem called Ti Amo, written by Mrs. Blue, and she has that sexy Italian voice, and I recorded her and created an NFT out of it. So that's the prize at the top of the event, and it's part of a 3-part series. One is the kind of the introduction to our love story, and then it goes into her poem, and then into the Marry Me Girl music video, which kind of ties in that whole energy of when we first met.
Like it. I'm just writing down Seth's gratitude here. Yeah, this event's going to be awesome. So can you maybe go over, and we'll touch on this, again, as we go through the conversation, but it starts at noon. Like, what do people need to know to take part in the drop? It's really pretty easy. The step one is go to Uplift.Art, click the, I think it's called Get Started button. And then it takes you right to the information page about Ti Amo Collectible Love to learn about what all the assets are. And then have a Wax account, of course, with Wax in it. In the future, we're going to have a payment gateway, so you can pay in more than in just Wax. But for now, we're using Wax as the vehicle for payment. So a Wax account, Wax, and the love of love is what you need.
So there was a little bit of confusion with the Mr. Spaceman drop. So I just want to clarify this a little bit. So it's 12 2-hour events that last 24 hours. Now, when does the burn mechanic go into effect, where you can burn those fragments and you can mint the full music video NFT? Does that happen as soon as the last fragment is released, or does that happen after the last fragment is finished?
It happens the second that you get that 12th fragment. So there's 12 rounds, they're 2 hours each. In each round, you have a new fragment to collect, right? The first 3 minutes of every round, though, however, have been pre-minted, and those are being sent out randomly to all the participants in each round. So in each of the 12 rounds, you have the opportunity to win a mint 1, 2, or 3. Now, at the same time, when you're buying in each round, you get 3. You're not just buying 1, you're getting 3 duplicates. And the reason for that is it's the KSB protocol that's just so famous. It's the keep 1, share 1, burn 1. So you get to keep 1 as a collector, right? And that might be the 1 of 1 or the 2 of, the 1 of whatever. You might have one of the first 3 minutes. So you can keep that and collect it. You can share 1 because, it's a different time zone. Nobody's expecting anybody to stay up all night long to collect these. So you may have somebody, in Japan that got, mint number 8, and he's got 3 of them, and you've got 3 mint number 3s. I mean, you got 3 of the first 3 rounds. So you guys can share to help each other complete the Fragments United piece. So and then you've got 1 to sell, sell or share, however you want to do it. So that adds liquidity to the ecosystem so that we can all be, in collaboration. And then the second...
Did you say collaboration?
Good, right?
I'm here for it.
Good, really good.
So there we have it. And the second that you can get the number 12th fragment is the second you can go to Uplift.Art and click the Combine Fragments button, and it takes you to Atomic Hub, and then you push a check mark, you reveal all of your fragments, and then you burn upgrade to the full length NFT music video, Marry Me Girl. So the fragments are about 15-second long segments of the song, right? So United, it releases the full length music video, NFT, and it's a mint sprint. So the first ones through the door, and to do that, to hit the combined fragments, will get mint number 1. The second through the door will get mint number 2, on and on. So it's minted on demand. So that's the mint sprint. So that's why, the second that the 12th one is available, you're going to want to be on top of it and go for it. Now, on the last one, Mr. Spaceman, I thought I was pretty quick. I actually did stay up. I didn't stay up all night, but I had an alarm on.
I got rocked, and you buried me, and you got rocked.
Yeah. So I was shooting for the first one, mint number 1, and then I was gonna give that away to a random uplifter. But I got mint number 12, so I was slow on the burn upgrade mechanic. I thought it was fast, but there's 11 people that are faster than me. So anyways, that's it in a nutshell. So the minimum buy for each round is 60 wax P, but it's pay what you want above that. And the reason why you want to pay more is because first, the highest bidder of the game of the 24-hour cycle will win those 2 one-of-ones, the Ti Amo one-of-one, and as well as the Minecraft NFT land key that we just saw, the Monument Kingdom of Love. But the top 21 highest payers will get the greatest love story ever told NFT, which combines all of the pieces, the introduction, the poem, and the song into one glorious romance, collectible love experience.
Yeah, the mint 1 thing is pretty cool. I mean, we're in the NFT space, and we're supposed to follow that trajectory by all hail the mint number 1. But I just want to say, if you haven't seen it yet, go back and watch the recent happening with Corey and Luke Stokes and his family in the Uplift, and that is the most recordable, savable moment of all time, because the land key was shown, and Corey had mentioned in the show. Whoever owns this, of course they could tear it down. And I forget which daughter it was, but one of Luke Stokes' daughters said basically,
I think it was Monet.
If I own that, I'm never going to tear that down.
Yeah, it was so good. Well, I'm gonna get a link for everybody, just because I want everyone to see this video. It was 2 yesterday. This video with Luke Stokes and his family is like it's where I would start. I'm going to send this to everyone. Like, if you want to know what we're doing with the Uplift, just go watch this. Like, we kind of cover all the basics, and it was just super fun. And then, a few hours later, mBlu and I get together for our first, buddy brainstorming session. That's going to be one of my new weekly favorite things. And actually, I listened back to that today, and I'm like, God damn! Like, we went over the highest level, craziest shit about what's coming for the Uplift. And so anyway, I'll post links over here. That's all I gotta say about that.
Two of my favorite people in the room of life right now.
Well, hey, and what about the thank you, Jimmy. I love to be on that list. But what happened last night in the Uplift Leadership Telegram channel, we just took it to another level.
Well, then, so I'm not going to comment about that, but I'm going to say something very, very similar. Like two of my favorite people in the room right now that I've worked with closely on multiple things, and one of the things that I always find is interesting is there seem to be like these unknown kind of factors that just happen to kind of work themselves out. And I kind of mentioned Corey about the dynamic that I don't think anyone thought of until last night. And that is like one of the big coolest things about the Uplift world is like blockchain nerds are going to bring their kids in there and play and have fun with them. Like, this is like something that we didn't even really think about, right? like, yeah. And that's like kind of huge, I think, in my opinion. And like a few of these other things that you're talking about, not my story to tell, but like this seems to happen over and over and over again. I remember it happening with my Bitcoin bull. I remember it happening, with the porting over to Uplift.Art. I remember it happening, multiple times with both of you. It's kismet to a whole new level, and I didn't even know that word last week. So I like
Love it. Yeah, as we were sharing last night, what's going on in the Uplift. It's really special. It's really, just I guess magic would be the best way to, in one word, to define it. But look what's coming together. It's really a community, and that's what Minecraft, in my opinion, really needs, is this thriving community. And it's like we said earlier, collaboration, right? It's like this is a place where everybody lifts each other up, and it's truly a win-win-win economy that's forming in there. But what a beautiful thing to have this is a world for the crypto community, right? To come in and really build out, and then invite non-crypto people in there just because it's a fun place to be. I'm just really grateful to be a part of it.
Well, I spent the last half hour scrolling through, a variety of posts and, self-filtering the toxicity, which have become way less since the recent Neos pump, but they're still there, right? But they're still there. And it's interesting because I was having a conversation yesterday with a friend of mine who's kind of a blockchain person, but not really a blockchain person. And I found myself referencing actually Uplift.Art and the whole idea of a music video. I played Corey's version of I'm Not in the Bubble 3 times yesterday to 3 random different people, and said, like, this is the first, not the first, but the second, video on the blockchain, but kind of like the first remix of a video on the blockchain. Like, I like the fact that, like, the first was My Bitcoin Bull and the first remix was like I'm Not the Bubble. And, I referenced all the great things that had kind of accompanied this video. Right. I mean, the creativity of it, number one, the artistic style of it, number 2, but further than that, I think almost is the idea that, number one, this win-win-win situation that you always cite yourself, Michael, about, the ability to do good for the world and kind of uplift everyone involved. And, sometimes when I have to talk about Uplift.Art or these music videos and what we do, it's hard to explain and convey, to people who aren't paying attention. And I think most of the people who are watching this are paying attention, but I really like the fact that, like, anyone from any place in the world can kind of be a part of this at every level and, in a sense, be uplifted. There's the musician, there's the artist who, can get their craft out there, who doesn't have to, like, run around to office buildings and hope that somebody's listening to their CD. They have the power now with blockchain to be able to create these things, right? And get paid for it. Like, that's kind of huge, right? Like, without being taken advantage by the industry. You have people who are in the community. Like you were mentioning about how everyone might not be awake during the 12-hour session. I was sleeping, because I'm not crazy like some other people in the room. But I understand why you're awake. But there was no way I was staying up, man. So I was sleeping, and I remember waking up, and I remember going into the Telegram channel, and I remember being like, okay, I've just been asleep for the last 3 hours. Who wants to divvy up? Somebody have a nap and hit me up in an hour, and we'll do a one-on-one trade. And I remember I sent a trade to somebody. And they're just like, nah, I'll just send it to you. You can just have it. I don't need anything in return. And I'm like, I'm going to send you something in return. And they're like, no, just send it to somebody else who didn't get it. We went from trading, to having people just give it out so that they could get these keys. And that's amazing. That energy to me is amazing. And then add on top of that, proceeds from this are actually going to build a freaking school, man. This is I'm an educator by trade, and I'm thinking about quitting my job because I'm kind of tired of education in the West. But we're building a freaking school. That actually means something, right? These people who are going to be enabled to understand, traditional education, but also probably come to grips with the fact that it's NFT technology and the power of the leveling of the playing field with art and music. And I mean, if you haven't subscribed to mBlu's channel, subscribe 100% and go back 8 months or a year or even a year and a half and see the origin stories of how this whole Uplift.Art thing and this whole charity donation thing came to the front, because it's definitely a story worth watching again and again and again. So I just think it's amazing that there's so much change that can come with just this little idea of being able to allow people the autonomy over their own art to benefit not only themselves but others. And I just, yeah, kudos to that.
Wow. Yeah. Well, thank you. You know, Jimmy, and you've been there from the very beginning. Yeah, it's been a long ride, you know, from Uplift Nation to Uplift.Art and that evolution and what we're doing. And you know, what gives me so much joy is thinking of how massive this all is going to be. I mean, we've proven out the base layer, wanting, which is the win-win-win, right? It works. We can see it. I mean, it's in the early stages, but it works. This model works. And now with what's happening with the uplift, and we're seeing I guess the passion and the community gathering around it, like everybody just gets it, right? And I truly believe that it's $1 billion idea. Can you imagine what we can do
with $100 million? Yes,
$100 million, right? I mean, schools, water wells, we're all about, one thing that a lot of charities, in the world and, and church groups and, they all start with really good intentions of wanting to go and do a relief effort or, build a school or something like that, but what happens a lot of time is, you think you're enabling and empowering a community, but you're going in there and just giving a Band-Aid, right? Like you'll bring in all the resources, you'll bring in the carpenters, like, a massive church group, they have really good intentions of going in and helping a community, but they're bringing in all the supplies, they're bringing in all the workers, and they're building it for them, right? Which is great. But however, what happens is that if you bring in bread, right, you put the bread maker out of business, right? So then now you have to keep bringing bread in, right? So you're creating this dependent loop where our philosophy, and we want to work with, and this is why I like Haitian Roots, we want to work with Haitian Roots and similar type entities that get it from, we need to go in and we need to help uplift these communities so that they can eventually do it all on their own, right? Empower them to be self-sufficient, give them the tools, the resources, the education. Like if we go in there and we build a school, it's not us building the school. We're in there bringing the resource of money, right? And we're bringing the resource of management in, but we're gathering the existing community. We're finding the tradesmen and the carpenters and the teachers and the bread as a metaphor from that region. We're bringing it together and we're empowering them to build the school, right? It's their school and they're going to end up running it and managing it, but they need the education and the proper understanding of how to run a school in a way that's sustainable. So we're about bringing these sustainable solutions and building, uplifting communities so they can stand on their own 2 feet. Jimmy?
Yeah, I think that's a really important distinction to make. And if you haven't thought about it, please do, because we wrestled with this for quite some time. But a lot of these charity organizations, they bring in their own people. They bring in their own troops, right? Like, they're the stormtroopers that come in and decide how things should operate and how things should run. And this isn't always the case, right? You have stories about Haiti and we've talked about other places in the world that, like, you can't just introduce something new to a civilization in terms of necessarily goods or a way of thought and have it work out for the best. Because, and as a permaculturalist, like a lot of people, they want to grow tomatoes and they get ticked off that the land that they're on won't grow tomatoes. So they got to dump all of these chemicals into it. Well, okay, if the land doesn't grow tomatoes, it doesn't mean you have to starve. It just means grow something else, or move somewhere that grows tomatoes. And I think a lot of times what we do with business or with agriculture or with charity and all of these things is we just level, everything. We flatten everything and then we try to build it from the ground on up. And that doesn't always help people or support people with the ambitions to do what they love to do. which is kind of why I like what we do here, is because essentially you're enabling people that are artistic to make a living by being artistic. You're enabling people who are carpenters to make a living by being carpenters, as opposed to, just feeding people through the business. So I should shut up though, because like I love having these conversations with especially you two, and we can do this all day. But we're here to we're here to sell an event and to build a freaking school. I think I know the answer, but it's better if you answer the question, Michael. Lisa asked, how much does this school cost to build in Haiti, and maybe what goes along with that, and.
Well, the price tag is $450,000. So Haitian Roots has built 2 schools. Their recent school is basically costing them $25,000 a year to maintain. That's the mortgage on it, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to pay off that $450,000 note, which will enable them to get another note for their 3rd school, which they have the property, they have the building, they're ready to go. It's just that they don't have the funding to do it, because they need to pay off this note in order to start the 2nd school. So short answer, $450,000 is the price tag on that.
And again, I think if I recall correctly, when we had the conversation with Haitian Roots, they were essentially saying that one of the motives for them building a school as well, because they were kind of thrust into this ideology where they were an education company, but because of circumstances in life, they essentially had to, pour it in to supporting children in other ways, as opposed to just education. They had to support them with food, they had to support them with shelter, they had to support them with livelihood. And one of the things that they're trying to do is, from my understanding of it, not just building a school, but building a community around the school, which to me as an educator is absolutely amazing, because school kind of in the West sometimes, not all the time, there are great parents out there, but sometimes school has become a place where you ship your kids off to and you can be free. Like, as bad as that sounds, we do live in this world where sometimes we don't appreciate the advantages of education. But if I think back on when I was a kid, school was open. It was available for people to go in and people to hang out, and families to collect and collide. And I think especially in the third world, this is kind of the deal. So I like it. I really like it. And I think Corey, you might have something on the screen that you want to say.
I got a few things. There's a bunch more people since we were talking about it before, so I just want to remind everyone the Ti Amo Valentines Day drop, collectible love. It's way cooler when mBlu says it. It's starting tomorrow at noon, and again, it's going to run for 24 hours. It's basically 12 2-hour events. So basically, you just want to make sure you go to Uplift.Art. Hit get started. Have that site listed up for noon tomorrow. And mBlu, we're going to be live with Anders tomorrow, right?
Correct. Yeah, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. So 30 minutes before the launch, and we'll go through all the assets and talk about it. And Francesca, Mrs. Blue, will be on the line. I believe Cheryl Moyes from Haitian Roots will be on the line as well. So we'll get a lot of good discussion and.
Right.
Although I heard if you had a time machine, you can go back to January the 13th and pick up a crate early.
Yeah. That was a little snafu. So Talis has a great question here. So is there any address to send some of the NFTs we have to get auctioned and help with the cause? And you can actually, this is one of my favorite things about this. You can actually watch the total. Go to blocks.io and search for the account Uplift Donate. You can actually donate wax to that account. You can donate NFTs to that account, and we'll bundle them together and auction them off. But that's the running total. Like all of this in the Uplift Donate account is going directly to this goal. So this is sort of like the final scorecard, right? This is where we're at. So absolutely. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, mBlu.
No, I was going to say another aspect that we're adding to this event that we didn't have for Mr. Spaceman is we're doing also a separate offering, which is another one of one that will be sold for $20,000 in wax or more. And whoever does that, whatever generous philanthropic genius person would do that, will get their name on one of the 12 classrooms, and then we'll tally up the biggest uplifter to donate for the year of 2021, and that person will get their name on the school. So a little added incentive for any whale out there that would like to contribute in a massive way and have their legacy hung on a Haitian school. That's going to be available for this event.
And of course, you can go back to mBlu's channel. It's linked in the description below. But if you go back to our ESIO weekly update and you scroll down to the bottom, there's a section with essentially all of this information down there, and most of the videos coming from you, and a few written articles by the community as well. So,
yeah, Jimmy, thanks for all your help too. I mean, I don't know if you guys all know this, but Jimmy is massively prolific. I mean, probably the most prolific guy I know, and he's been adding his magic to this ecosystem for a long time. So thank you so much for what you do, Jimmy.
Seconded.
I just do shit, and it kind of panned out because somehow by getting connected with Uplift in the early days led to me sitting here with Corey on a daily basis, which is just kind of a phenomenal turn of events that I never foresaw. I mean, I like to write, but I'm not a camera person, but apparently I do okay. So I wanted to ask Corey, if you have something to say, it's okay. But I wanted to ask one more question, and it has to do with the tweet that we put out earlier, because we have some promo crates to give away. And we're gonna do like one of those random generator kind of things, and pick a few people that retweeted that tweet to give these promo crates out. But Michael, before we do that, if you could explain what these promo crates are and how they exist, because they're not really connected to the Valentine's event. They're something separate from that, correct?
Well, they're basically promotional pieces for the event. So in one of the pieces there's 6 NFTs, and you'll randomly get 3 in the crate. So when you open the crate, you'll randomly get 3 of the 6. And one of those is, I think it's like a 12-minute long conversation that I had with Corey and Anders on Any Observation. And it was me basically telling the story of meeting Francesca to, basically winning her, right, so to speak. And it was just a really touching moment. And so I took that 12-minute clip and I created an NFT out of it. And it kind of gives context for the whole drop, right? Collectible love. And this is just the start, and Francesca says, collectible love, Valentine's Day, every day.
Yeah, for real. Like her accent, like mBlu kind of. Yeah, you
totally butchered it. It's way better.
Yeah, no, it's like it wasn't even that bad. Like I was turned on a little bit, but no, like Francesca's speaking voice is just, it's inspiring. It's really, really good. So I'm glad that you included her and all that stuff, because it's well, and I mean, it's both of your guys' story, right? Like it's that combined thing. That's why the monument that I built, it had to be 2 people, and they had to be putting some life into something together. So I was totally thinking of you guys and Baz and me, and just that everybody who's lucky enough to have that in their lives.
Oh yeah, well I call it the greatest love story ever, right? But I'm biased because it's my love story. But with throwing this collectible love on the blockchain, I have this intention of, first of all, collectible love. This is just the beginning of it, right? This is just the initial spark. So what collectible love will become in the future, we have so many, fantastic ideas. So it's not always going to be, mBlu's love story, right? It's just, that's the kickoff. But meeting your soulmate, like I was a rock star in Hollywood, and through relationship, right? Always seeking that special someone, right? So it's the revolving door of relationships, to the point where it's like, what the hell is wrong with me, right? Like I got a problem, And then one night, playing on the Hollywood gig, and I was the front man looking down, I saw her, and it was just like, instantaneous, like that is her, right? So, I had that, and through my life, I'd go, yeah, soulmates, right? That's, what a bunch of bullshit that is, right? Because every girl I dated was my soulmate, right? Until she wasn't. But now I'm a believer because look, this is 20 years ago, right? And I still live it very intensely. Looking down at her and seeing her that first time, it was like, boom, like the light turned on. Like, okay, it's like that's the one. There she is. So by putting this on the blockchain, one, I want to kind of foster that belief that, I do believe that everybody has their twin flame, their soulmate, and that, sometimes it takes longer to find it, but it's a real thing. And I know Corey knows this too, because we've talked about this, but it's real. And I hope that this one puts this intention of love into the technology space, right? Blockchains, they're arriving, the new way to do money, right? And by putting this, I'm a big intention guy, right? I set intentions every single day. Like before even this call, I set an intention that, to add value to this call. So everything I do, I add intention. So by putting the intention of love on the blockchain in a meaningful way, we're stamping it, right? It's out there. And I'm a believer in it. And I want this to infect people with a positive sense that, yeah, I can find my soulmate. Or if you're with your soulmate, to allow that fire to rekindle and burn brighter. Because if there's one thing that the world really needs right now is love, right? And to really waken up to those primal juices, that passion, that union. So that's my intention behind this drop. And it's the first of many, and we've got many great ideas. And we've just brought on a freaking masterful, fine artist that is just a astounding human being who's a storyteller on top of it. So that's going to tie in very nicely to the theme collectible love. So we're very excited. This portal, this whole new doorway is opened within the last month. And I think both of you guys feel it, right? There's just so much opportunity right now, so much innovation happening just in our little ecosystem. It's just mind blowing. You can't even keep track of it. I mean, just like what goes on in the Telegram channel last night, it's back and forth. There's explosions of ideas of things that can really be done and achieved. They're not these whimsical fantasies like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to put a Lamborghini on Saturn, right? This is stuff that is actually achievable, but at the same time, it's mind blowing, right? Like the experiences that are gonna go on in the Uplift alone, that's tied to physical, real world art that you can own and hold and touch, right? But you can also own fractions of that beautiful masterpiece. So it'll allow you access into the experience of that painting within the Uplift.
Even with the dividends, yeah, like waking up. So I woke up at 4:00 in the morning this morning, and it's one of my favorite things to like go to our Uplift leadership group, right, and just see what you crazy bastards came up with overnight, because it's always something, right? And I basically I had to leave because mBlu leaves voice messages on there all the time, so I had to like get out of bed because I didn't want to wake Babs up. So I come into the office and I'm just sitting in front of my computer for like a half hour, just catching up on all the crazy ideas that have built upon the conversation we had yesterday and the conversation that happened the night before, right? And again, I love what you mentioned about the fact that all of this stuff is actually doable, because I have been engaging with all these projects, getting ready to do the community cluster thing, right? Which is just still blowing my mind how much fun that's going to be. But a bunch of them are like, oh, I have ideas and the thing and the stuff, and we're working on it. And I'm sure they're going to build out some awesome stuff. I know for a fact that the stuff that we say we're going to build, we can build, which is crazy. That's
crazy. Nathan Rempel, who's a genius human, who's also a developer. So we'll spit out like an idea, and he'll go, yeah, I'm on it. I've already, I'm kind of mapping that in now, right? It's like,
yeah, like 5 minutes later, he's like, oh, whiz bang, boom. And then it's, he's scary smart. I was telling Michelle
yeah.
this, like he's either utterly insane or the smartest person that I have ever met, and I'm leaning heavily to the smartest person I've ever met. And we talk like on the coding, wizardry, sorcery side, his brain is working at a level that kind of transcends hyper logic and goes into this imagination space that is deeply inspiring. Like I feel like with the uplift, with the art stuff and with the uplift world stuff, we're sort of pushing the boundaries, for me anyway, like at my level, we're pushing the boundaries and kind of like stumbling into realizations that he sits in when he wakes up for his first coffee in the morning. Right. And having him on the team is cool, like almost scary cool.
Yeah. Well, and then also,
sometimes I feel like I would just want to echo the sentiment. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Because we'll have a solid plan going forward. And then all of a sudden there's this like epic nuclear explosion where like the whole plan gets derailed, but you have to do it because it's 300 times better.
Dude, move fast, break shit like that. We're nimble, right? Like we're almost like a collection of startups operating under one tent, right? And
let's face it, it's not just Nathan that's crazy. You two, we're all freaking crazy.
This is one thing. I'll be super open about this. So like Nathan shows up, and what the team is working on with Jan the artist is itself $100 million or $1 billion idea, right? Like, and I can't say anything more about it. It's really, really, really good. And like I was worried, like we're doing the Ti Amo drop, and then we're building the uplift, right? Like that's been the plan for a little while. And Nathan comes in, he's like, I'm gonna build this giant website company business in 9 days, and like he probably will. It's a ridiculous thing to say, but I believe him. So right, and everybody gets inspired by that on the team, and like our focus kind of shifts or whatever. And so I was a little concerned about that. Like we have a plan for the uplift, like we got to build it. We need the whole team. I want to get everybody focused or whatever, right? And I'm like calling myself out because what happened is really hilarious. The stuff that they're working on is exactly what the uplift needs, right? Like that, all of the stuff that they're doing, all of it is exactly what the uplift needs to 10x what we were going to do for the alpha sale. And I'm like, all right, I just trust. Everything's fine.
And I'd like to add to that as well. I think the general sentiment is there, but in reality, we don't really need the whole team because the team is non-existent now. You have people like Ken Bozak and Anders going live in the uplift to hang out and show each other shit. Like the team has become the community, and that is what becomes the most empowering. That is what becomes amazing, magnetic, and beautiful, right?
And last night, we were going back and forth in the Telegram channel, and we were looking at what Engine is doing, and somebody else bring to Minecraft, and I was saying, that's awesome, right? We'll be interested to see how that works out for them. But what we got going on, like look at that map, right? That's our family, right? That's who's building the uplift, right? And it's the community there that's going to make this thing work. Because if you don't have community, then there's nothing, right? You can have the best tech stack and the best everything, but if you don't have people in there enthusiastically building together, fathers and sons, mothers and daughters and bros, right, doing their thing and sharing and showing, then there's nothing there. And I got a funny story last night because I think I left 2 audio messages, like one, and then like 10 minutes later the cap on it. Because we had this double shower at home, and so Francesca's taking a shower, and then I got in there and I started taking a shower next to her, and I was all excited talking to her about this. I was telling her, the art that we're fractalizing, and you can buy sections of it. Well, now this maps over directly to the uplift, and I was telling her the whole if you have a piece here, then that gives you access to the experience of the painting in the uplift, right? And I was telling her about it, and I go, yeah. And so if you have to have a key to access it, and it's kind of like this private, cool domain to go experience, to go check out. And then I said, oh, but wait, the general audience, the general public can go too, but they'll have to buy a ticket, and that ticket sales can go to the fraction holders of the physical art piece that's also an NFT. So it's all wet because I was like, damn, I gotta remember this. I just walk out naked in this wet, getting my phone. I'm standing there talking to you guys, completely drenched and wet. Hey, also guys, what we can do is. So anyways, yeah, some of my best thoughts happen naked in the shower.
This is a little kinky, but Lisa Chandler right and nailed it. A new podcast, mBlu and Francesca in the shower.
Yeah, definitely watch this back, Michael, because definitely watch this back. There's a reason for you to watch this back. It's great, and it's good job it's not in the Uplift, because the Uplift is PG-13.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we got the bros in there too, so it'll be interesting.
I think it's interesting for me because after Corey and I do the thing that ends the show, that kind of became the thing that I'm starting to be sold on, because I thought his thing was way better, and then it just became the thing, and I'm not really a fan of it. But anyway, well, whatever. The thing was supposed to be something different, but now the thing is the thing, and that's how we end the show. But usually after we end the show, barring any major crises, we chat a little bit, and I've been pushing Corey okay, you gotta uplift. You gotta uplift these guys. Sure, I like it. I'm gonna run with it. But you gotta whitelist these guys, because these guys are good. And it's okay, I'm working with a few different projects, and I get them whitelisted, and then I reach out to them and I say, okay, I got you whitelisted. It's okay. We're a little bit ways down the road. You got to do it. And within a day, they're already in the channel of people who are whitelisted, asking oh, okay, I got to get in here. It's okay, this kind of sounds like a good idea. I don't really have time to look into it. Okay, now you're whitelisted. Okay, now I've actually looked at it for 3 seconds, and I realized that I need to be in there. It's really,
yeah, I think find Boyd, and just if you go to the 2D map, and we should have that linked in all the show notes, by the way, Jimmy. I don't know if we do, because I mention it all the time and I haven't sent it to anybody. But you go to the 2D map, which is live, right? You can just go to a website. You don't have to be in Minecraft or anything. You just go to the website, and it's a live 2D map of everybody that's in the game, and all the lands and regions, and even builds, so you can see them. So you go southwest from Central City down to the community cluster. You can see that map that I had up. You can kind of see it there. And on the kind of the western side of that, you could see one plot where just everything is happening. Something really messed up is happening. You can zoom right down into there, and it's Boyd's place, right? And they're building a starport, because of course they are. And you can see they actually built it so that you can see Boyd from space. This website is a satellite view or whatever, right? But they put a QR code. They built a QR code in Minecraft, put it on the ground. You point your phone at it, and it takes you to Boyd.com. Right? We were doing that when I was having my conversation with Luke Stokes and his family. He saw that and he was like, wait a minute. He pulls his phone out, points it at the computer. He's like, whoa, Boyd.com, right? And this has been going on for a week, less than a week.
Can I
now there's gonna be a million ideas going on in there. It's gonna blow my mind. Anyway,
can I commission them to do that for Uplift.Art?
Well, I think I don't know if we can commission it, but I think it needs to be on every Lands piece NFT. And
I agree. I mean, it's just
point number one. And point number two, Lisa Chandler asked in the comments, open houses and tours needed for community spaces. Now, I'm going to co-opt this because I think I know that this is possible, but I kind of feel like, Corey, you can explain it better. There is a way for people to actually look inside and follow different individuals when they're in game, right? And maybe we need to put together a list of, community builders that can actually be followed by the general community at large until it opens up. If I understand that correctly.
You can follow them around on the 2D map. I would love to see everyone live streaming their builds. You just use OBS, go on YouTube, live stream your build, use hashtag the Uplift World. And then, it's free promo for your project. Number one. Number two, I'll share the crap out of it. Right. It makes sense to do that. So even if, for the people that hire somebody else to, which is happening a lot, actually, for people that hire a Minecraft wizard to go in, or press their kids into service, which is what Luke Stokes did. have them stream it live whenever they can, and whether it's Twitch or what have you, because that's it's obviously going to be great promo for your project, and it'll sort of let other people follow you as well. Now, for the kids like Devin and Luke's two daughters, they're not only like in charge, he put them in charge of File Protocol's plot, which I cannot adore them more. It's ridiculous. But like I got a post.
I mean, two of them will be great. The third one, he's kind of a lost cause because he's just wanting to be the first one to plant the flag in the world after the Nether.
Lost cause? We talking about like Devin's gonna be running. He's gonna be president of the Uplift. Like he's basically he's gonna do like a hostile takeover. Anyway, Devin's awesome. Like he's anyway. So they're yeah, he's good. So they actually created, to get more screen time, they actually did a deal with their school showing them how they're going to be running this as a project and as a business, because it will be, right? Like this is legit.
Wow.
And they basically made that deal with the school that they would bring in regular reports, and that way the kids can have more screen time in the Uplift. So
this segues really nicely into that. This can be a revenue generator for anyone, because think about it. Once we have legitimate land sales going on, right? So let's say you buy some land and you've got your land, right? We're going to have this this FAAS, fractionalize as a service. So you'll be able to log into this platform, show your property on a map, right? And basically then you can show what parts of your property are for sale or available, right? And then you can zoom in, and then you can go in the world, you can see the monuments and the structures that you've built, and you can list that for sale. Once this platform is built, it's going to be for everybody. But I can see, for example, alien worlds, there's a drop down, you can go, I'm going to see what properties available in alien worlds, and their map appears, and you can see what's for sale, and you say, oh, but I really want that centerpiece. You can zoom in and you can make an offer on it, right? But that can be your property as well. And what's so beautiful about this is that this ecosystem fosters artists, right? People that come in here and they don't even consider themselves artists, right? But then they become these artists, these architects of amazing things that are just beautiful and awe-inspiring. I mean, I keep going back to I think it was Virginia that built the dog that's to go into the back end of the dog to get into this like really cool penthouse inside the dog. And there's just so much creativity happening in this space, and for many, it's a way for them to express themselves to where they didn't think they had something of value to express to the world.
All right, so I got 6 minutes before I got hard out. We're actually doing #coffee over on Facebook and our coffee YouTube channel this morning. Me and Greg. We usually talk about all sorts of stuff, but today it's probably just going to be mostly about the Uplift. I'm not going to lie.
Well, that's optimal. I don't know. Should we? We only got 6 minutes. We got shit to give away.
Yeah, I know. We got let's do one giveaway at least, and I got to get gratitudes from both of you.
Okay, Michael, go with the gratitude. I'll pull up the giveaway screen.
Boy, I'm grateful for love. I'm grateful for collectible love.
All right. All right, Jimmy, what are you grateful for this morning?
I'm grateful that everything happens for a reason. And this is pretty much every one of my gratitudes reworded from
translated slightly
from the Jimmy D thesaurus, but essentially,
awesome.
I don't believe in
coincidences.
Yeah, I do kind of believe in coincidences, but I don't believe in luck. I don't believe in I kind of believe that you make your own luck, but at the same time, I do believe in. I think both of you will kind of get this, and I believe in some, ideologies that kind of look at the world as we exist, and there's this kind of energy that resonates with all of life, and even a rock is, in a sense, life. And if you take the time to listen to what's happening around you, things kind of, come to the front that you had no idea were going to be there. And I think this is what coincidences, or what kismet, or whatever you might call it, is. It's just listening to the vibrations that are around you and tapping into them in different kind of ways, and being able to express those in the abilities that life has given you, whether it be through writing, whether it be through music, whether it be through poetry, whether it be through connecting with other people, whether it be through art or creation or whatever. The people who are following their dreams in life, I kind of believe have found this way to tap into something that is non-material. And it might bring them material wealth, and it might not, but they are the happiest people in life that I actually know. So I believe in that.
Yeah. It all really boils down to how do you define wealth, right? I feel like the richest man in the world because of the family I have and the community that I surround myself with. So that's wealth to me, but yeah, the dollars in the bank is definitely a nice add-on.
I kind of like where that went, but it cracked me up.
No, it's good.
Yeah, it's hard to say the dollars in the bank is a nice add-on, right? Because we're in crypto, and now is a really freaking good time to be in crypto.
Yeah, we didn't know that this day was actually going to come because we had so many false alarms, right? We've waited so long; it's been painful.
Well,
especially in EOS, right? This is the thing. So I gotta go in 2 minutes. So we're gonna have to pick the winner. The crypto winter is so long that everybody that I know that's been through it revel in every minute of the crypto summer, right? We know it's not gonna last forever, and that's okay.
Man,
hey, hold on, Wax
stop that crazy talk.
No, year over year, it's gonna last forever. But the big pumps or whatever. But I finally, after 3 hours of being super busy this morning, I went and checked Blockfolio, and Wax is down 6%. So it's only 6.1 cents now. It's only doubled since I got my first Wax. They're oh no! It's a good day. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, can I just say that this shit is rigged? Look at
as long as you get the shit done in 1 minute, you can say whatever you want.
Well, look at the screen. It's right there on the screen.
2 days in a row. The reason why this is funny, everyone, is because we did this one other time, and it actually picked EOS Go, who was the donator of the NFTs we were giving away, which is exactly what happened now. The universe is just no, if you give, you get back.
Yeah, well, hey, let's create some claim links, and we can throughout the day hand them out in the Uplift.Art.
All right, there it is.
Channel. Lucio 009. You're our first winner. I'm gonna write this down because I'm gonna pull this out because Corey's got a hard stop. And we're gonna do.
Hey, I think you guys can actually keep going while I go. So if you guys want to keep chatting, I can just pull shoot and hop over the other thing, and you guys can.
Well, we can try. Do you want to do a couple more of these mBlu before?
Yeah, let's do a couple more. Then I got to go. My buddy we've got the power out in not in my place, but in our city. So I've got a friend and his family and their young baby coming over to warm up.
Nice.
So I'm going to need to greet them here soon. But let's create claim links, get people in the Uplift.Art main channel, and we'll pass out some claim links to some of these crates. Is that a good idea?
Okay, sure. Pick a number between 1 and 5. Well, 2 and 5.
3.
Okay, we're gonna give 3 giveaways right now, and then we'll let it go. So I'm gonna go back to the main screen. We're gonna do this again.
Let's see if I can win again.
If you win again, man. KHAWERZ1, you are a second winner. And our third winner will be Link Crypto 1.
Nice. So are these Twitter names? Are these Twitter?
Yeah. So how we've organized this. Let me get back to the main screen here. How we've organized this is we sent out a tweet earlier today that everyone who tweets will be kind of entered into a random draw, and then we use a random Twitter retweet generator to look up the 3 winners, and then we're gonna send them crates. So
then how do you get their actual Wax account? You just DM them in Twitter, or?
Well, actually, so the instructions were that you tweet you retweet the post with your Wax account attached. So I'll go into Twitter later, and most of them will have their Wax account attached. But actually, there was a case with there might be a case where you don't have your Wax account attached, and I'll probably just I'm a nice guy, so I'll probably just ask you what your Wax account is and give you like a 24-hour limit. And if you don't do it, I'll give it to somebody else. Because I think it's good to build the community. But I know you got a soft stop. So but thanks so much for joining us. And I think it's again, I just want to say, like, on a personal level, I'm so happy to have met you. Like, you've I don't actually know if you know this, mBlu, but you took me from a level that I wasn't comfortable to a level that I'm a little bit too comfortable now. So like, I like actually, the fact that, I would, so a little bit of backstory on this. You were the first person that actually ever had me on camera. I was quite aloof. And I think you remember when we first kind of started putting out promotional videos for what became Uplift.Art. You had me on camera, and we were talking about histories and your trip to Haiti and my permaculture and giving back to the world. So it was a long time coming, but now I'm here every freaking day. So, I love it. So yeah, thank you for.
Well, and you guys are doing great things. I mean, the two of you have great synergy, and I love what you guys are doing. I applaud it, and thank you so much for being my friend, helping me build this wonderful community. We're at the very beginning of it, but great things are coming, and I couldn't be more thrilled to be on this train with you. Yeah, me as well. So we're going to I think we're gonna do some pretty fun things, and it's nice, like to have that ability. So before we go, for all of the people who are still here, because I get confused because I'm kind of on the wrong side of the sun. But like the event will go live at is it Eastern? It's Eastern Standard Time, but what time is it again? 12 p.m. Eastern.
12 p.m. Eastern.
We'll be on the live stream on any observation with Anders at 11:30 Eastern Time
on the 13th.
Yeah, tomorrow.
February. So, it's a Saturday. You don't have to go to work, which means you don't have to eat breakfast. You can eat brunch, and you can skip lunch, and you can hop on into, Uplift.Art to find the link to be able to get the first fragment of Collectible Love. And you're going to be live on Anders. So, if you haven't subscribe to Any Observation on YouTube, or go to anyobservation.com, and all of his links will be there. And as you mentioned, it'll be you, Corey, Cheryl Moyes, who is the lead, I guess, of Haitian Roots.
The founders of Haitian Roots.
right, and your wife, Mrs. Blue, which will be probably her first time on live camera. I mean, she's been in the NFT video space for a while, but maybe she took a retake. We don't know how she's going to perform when so it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, she's a little nervous because it's her first time, and she knows that I'm a little bit bombastic, right? So she's hoping that I don't embarrass her.
Well, if you embarrass her, I'll take you out, because I've met her a couple times, and I can say, like, it's a nice synergy for me, because Italian voice aside, she is actually an amazing poet, and she's got a really good story. Again, go back through mBlu's videos, scroll back a year, and you'll see the story and how Uplift in itself became a thing, and the passion involved, I think, for you and charity, in a large part, is influenced by your wife, and I think people should really know that she has a passion for helping people. She has a dynamic for improving the world, and I think that, in my personal opinion, even though I can't speak for other people, I think that the love that she has for you is a byproduct of the love that she has for humanity in general, and she sees the most beautiful parts of humanity in yourself, as do I. So thank you so much for just being you, mBlu.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, she's a big driver, but she's kind of like the, what's the old saying? It takes a good woman to, I don't know what the phrase is, but anyway, she's the good woman behind the scenes that adds a lot of value to Uplift.Art. She's an unsung hero, but she's a big source of inspiration.
I'm super excited to see all this go down live. Michael, I'll let you go. Thanks so much for joining us, as always, and again, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, brother. That was fun. I can't wait for the next one.
I guess if we both just leave the studio, that ends the call, because I don't have control. So.
All right, everybody, keep up away. Much love.